Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm down at Hendrick BMW Northlake. We're going to take a look at this 2022 BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe. So huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. The M8 that you see behind me is finished off in malachite green metallic, and it has a list price just over $152,000. Starting off today's review, we're going to look at what powers this M8 Comp. Underneath the hood is the 4.4 liter twin power turbo V8 paired to the 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. It pumps out 617 horsepower around 6,000 RPM and 553 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,800 RPM. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 4,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds, up to its top speed of 155 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 20.1 gallons. You'll expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 119.2 inches. Its overall length is 200.9. It has a width of 76.5 and a height of 55.9 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this M8 Gran Coupe, let's start off with the kidney design for the grille. So on this car, it's much more narrow and it's a lot wider, filling in that space between the headlights, giving it a really nice sleek design. There's an integrated forward-facing camera as well as plenty of cutouts in that grille to provide even more cooling to this engine. This model has the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. You'll notice that the DRLs have a half C-shaped design underneath the headlights and the high beams, which also have blue accents with the turn signal on the upper section. Really nice sleek housings which match this long sleek grille. This has the M carbon fiber exterior package, so you'll see those above these trim pieces on both sides, which also have the integrated parking sensors. It's on the lower section of the bumper. Right in the middle is the forward-facing sensor, which is a part of the adaptive cruise and all of that technology. Plenty of cutouts in the lower section of that grille, as well as all of the contoured lines, which give it a really aggressive look, with very clean lines coming down the hood, meeting the top of that grille very nicely. Working our way to the side, this has the M Sport wheels. They're 20 by 9.5 up front and 20 by 10.5 in the rear. Really cool two-tone design with the multi-spoke pattern. This also has the blue brake calipers with the M logo on them. There's more carbon fiber just behind that tire on that trim piece that says M8, as well as on these power folding side mirrors. They do feature the integrated turn signal as well as a camera system. And there's even carbon fiber on the entire roof, which is a great piece to see. All of the window trim is blacked out, and being the Gran Coupe, it's supposed to be a stretched out version of the M8 Coupe, of course. Has really nice designs, very proportional with that steeply raked rear glass. Definitely makes it look like a coupe and blends it in nicely. And in the rear, this has the trunk lip carbon fiber spoiler. Really nice fins on it, give it that aggressive touch. This has a backup camera with all the parking sensors. There's even more carbon fiber in the lower diffuser, which also has gloss black accents to tie it in nicely, wrapping around the quad tip dual exhaust. But with the exterior wrapped up, let's work our way to the rear cargo area. You can hold the button on the key fob or the electronic button to the left side of that backup camera. And you'll notice there is a ton of storage, very flat surface to place in a lot of items. There's some battery components on the driver's side, a small net on this passenger side, and the back seats do fold down. So there's these two tabs that you can pull. You can see with them folded down, that provides you with a lot more interior space, making this that much more practical as a daily sedan. And with the power trunk, you can close and lock it on the right side, or just close it with the button on the left side. And now we can move on to the back seats. And you'll notice that you can lock and unlock the vehicle from the back door handles, which makes it that much more convenient. And now we can move on to the Silverstone color for this leather interior. Really pops against this exterior green. The insert has a really cool design to it. You can see all of the leather on the armrest, more brushed aluminum. This has the Bowers & Wilkins audio sound system, finished off in more of the brush trim, as well as all the window controls and the sunshade adjustments. There's a little bit of storage on the grab handle and even more down in the lower section. M is also down on the door sill, and at 5'10", I can work my way into the back seats where the seatbelts even have the M color stitch in them. Really nice attention to detail. But hopping in now with the front seat set at my height, I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs, and I have around an inch or so above my head. So it's a really nice, comfortable seat. If you're any taller than me, it might be a little bit crammed, but with the coupe-like design that this has, still provides you with an ample amount of headroom. And right in the middle, we can fold down the armrest where there's a little bit of storage on the back side, as well as 2 cup holders, more of the brushed trim, which just gives it a really cool design. And these back seats do have a 40-20-40 split, so you can fold down the middle seat if you need a little bit more storage through the middle, and then obviously you can fold down the rest of the seats to give you that much more interior storage. The headrests also have a cutout in them, just giving it a really cool one-piece design. And right in the middle, there's the 3rd climate control zone for the backseat passengers. So fan speed, temperature is on both sides in brushed aluminum. These are even heated seats, so those controls are on both sides. With 2 USBs and some storage, you could place your phone and charge it at the same time. There's 2 air vents and more of the carbon fiber and brushed aluminum. And then coming back to the door controls, there are 3 different sunshades. Pushing that one on the left will raise and lower the one on this side. The one on the right side, you can control that other one, which is great. And then the last one in the bottom is for the rear window. Look at how quickly these raise and lower. Very awesome to see that, provide you with a lot more shade for the interior. And as we work our way to the front seats, before we hop in, this does have remote start, so you do have to go into activate it if you like to. And to start this up, just push on the BMW lock button 3 times, and this will come to life. And if you want to shut it off for whatever reason, you can triple tap on that button and it will shut off, but that exhaust sounds so good already. We'll get some more exhaust clips here in just a little. And moving on to this door panel for the front seat passengers, it has the addition of the memory seating adjustments, lock and unlock, all the window controls and the power adjustments, as well as that powered trunk release and even more storage down below. M8 Competition is down on the door sill, and this is an illuminating badge. It's going to be hard to see during the daytime, but a nice touch. And looking at these front bucket seats with M8 up in the headrest, more of that two-tone running down the inserts. These are automatic seats, so all of those adjustments are down on the side, with the exception of the manual adjustment for the leg support. And working our way to the front seats, the door sill is low. You do step down just over that large door opening, so it makes it easy to enter and exit. And on this steering wheel, it's solid black leather with more of the BMW colors. There's even more brushed aluminum. This is a heated steering wheel, so that's down below. All of the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings are on this left side. The right side is volume tuning and the Bluetooth and voice commands. There's 2 red buttons, which we'll get to here soon, as well as brushed aluminum on the paddle shifters. But let's fire up this M8 again. With my foot on the brake, we have that red button down below. We can bring this back to life. And coming back to this digital gauge cluster, on the left side is the fuel gauge and the miles per hour. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. There's even more information you can go through within that tach using this button on the top of the turn signal stock. So currently it's showing some data information. You can pull up the temperature and the PSI for the tires. There's also some more vitals to monitor. You can even look at the live readout for horsepower and torque. So if I give the vehicle some gas, you can see those adjust as needed. There's a G-force meter, your music, and then we also have the different driving modes, so you can see how the vehicle is currently set up and even look at what gear the vehicle is in, as well as the live readout for the MPG. And then coming back to the red buttons on both sides, we have M1 and M2. This is how you can configure those driving modes that I just showed. So being able to put the vehicle into sport mode or efficiency mode, these are shortcuts to do that. You can have daily driving and then a back road setting already set up and ready to go. All the headlight adjustments are on this left side, along with 1 air vent. There's leather on the entire dash. This even has the heads-up display. Currently it's showing the miles per hour and the speed limit sign, and you can adjust that further with the M mode. So just by pushing on that, you'll see the entire gauge cluster change, as well as the heads-up display. It is now showing the tach front and center very large, as well as the miles per hour and what gear you're in. And then moving to the center, we have this large touchscreen system. Everything on the left side is preset, so these are all fixed. And then we have the home screen here. You can also adjust that with all these controls down below. So there's shortcuts to map and navigation, home, media, and phone, the rotary dial to go through that info. So looking at the home screen, there's navigation and music, as well as phone, your setup, engine, and tire data. And the last one here will show the compass, as well as local traffic and some other data information. And going to this bar on the left side, we can go into navigation, pull that up in full screen so you can see that map. And then car is how you can set up a lot of this information. In the driving information, sport displays will show you all this fun information. So if you're on some back roads, you can monitor all of that. Even look at the energy flow where the power is being sent. Just underneath that is M menu. So this is how you can configure M1 and M2, go through your engine, your chassis, transmission, how quickly you want it to shift. You have the braking as well as start, stop, and even the engine. So really nice to be able to have those set up and ready to go. There's some vehicle status to monitor as well as settings. You can go into the driver profiles as well as owner's manual. And the last apps here is for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as any other apps that you'd like to download and install, just depending on what you use the most. There's some piano black just underneath that, as well as a shortcut button for the intelligent safety. So by going into this, you can monitor forward and side collision, as well as the lane departure and the blind spot. Really nice to see that front and center. And then there's a small LCD screen for all of the climate controls just underneath that, with all of those buttons finished off in brushed aluminum. Temperature, fan speed are on both sides. This even has heated front seats with your front and rear defrosters, where you like the air to go, and all of those recirc controls. Volume and power is on one side with tuning on the other. And then underneath that, there's a little bit of storage in front of two cup holders. With the BMW card, you can use that instead of the key fob, which is great to have. There's also the USB and the 12 volt. And when I close this up, this cover is finished off in carbon fiber. Really nice to see the carbon fiber carried onto the interior. On both sides, there is the interior ambient lighting strip wedged between the brushed aluminum and the leather. There's the two-tone design on the sides too. And then on the left side of all those controls, we have the shifter. To put this into reverse, we'll go to the left and up. It will hold there, and you can see the backup camera with the top-down view on that right side, as well as some shortcuts to pinpoint or seeing around it. The 3D view will show you in even more details around the entire vehicle, and there's pinpoints here so you can see exactly what's around you in the parking lot, wherever you may be. Really nice to have that amount of visibility. The last one is for the car wash setting. So if you're pulling into a car wash or even a parking space, gives you that much more visibility. And then the button to the left side of the shifter, if you push on that, that is now for the forward-facing camera, so you can see that in full screen. To go down into drive, we'll go back into the neutral, pop it over to the right side. That is for drive or the sport mode, depending on how the gauge cluster appears. Currently, you can just see the gear. And now if I pop it over, you can see D, which means it's in drive and now in first gear. And when you do that, you can use the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters as well. Park is on the back side, as well as being able to adjust the transmission shifting. Also over on this left side is traction control, as well as the parking sensors and the engine start stop feature. And then a few buttons are just behind that. We have M mode, as you already saw, as well as being able to change the exhaust note. And if you go into M mode, you can even go between road, sport. If you hold on that button, then you can activate track mode. So really nice to be able to do that, just depending on how you're driving. It will automatically shut off that center screen, and pop-ups with some vitals and that gauge cluster. Auto hold and the electronic parking brake are just behind that. And then there's a good amount of storage space in the middle with a USB-C and a 12 volt, so you can charge any electronics there. And then plenty of room in the glove box for all of that info. We'll take one last look at this beautiful interior. It matches nicely with this exterior green. And in the front, there is a call button, as well as the dome lights too. All right, so getting this 2022 BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe out on the road. This has been a really cool vehicle to check out. Now, I have a lot of seat time behind the wheel of the M4 and the M8 as well, and I just finished doing a review on the M8 Coupe. So it's awesome to be able to see all that performance now incorporated into even more of a practical 4-seater or 5-seater vehicle, depending on if you need that extra space in the middle. And then obviously compared to the Coupe, gives you a little bit more room for those backseat passengers. But this is a fun, sporty vehicle. If you're looking for the best of everything, you want a really nice daily driver, and you need the practicality of having the backseat room if you need it to use it, as well as the trunk space and being able to fold down the seats and put in a lot more items. But the M8 Competition is meant for performance. So I have it in the M mode. We have it over into Sport Plus, the M2 button here for all of that. And being a brand new vehicle, there's only so much I can do. If you want to see us driving a lot more spiritedly in the mountains, I'll have all of our M4 competition videos down in the description below. I would assume this is going to handle very similar, even though it's stretched more for the Gran Coupe. It only weighs about 100 pounds or so more than the M8 Coupe that I was just in. So the handling characteristics shouldn't be that much different. Now, I'm saying that not being on some twisty roads, but we do have some turns where we can handle check out that handling. So here's a right. And very, very solid around that turn. We have a few more that we can get on, but yeah, so if you want a sporty sedan that has all that, this is a great option. The interior is very nice. I love the color combo with this green exterior and then this interior color, which gives it kind of more of an upscale look. Not as sporty, but definitely gives it a good feel. Turning radius is also really good, and along with turning radius is visibility. Very easy to see over this left shoulder, right shoulder, same thing. Pillar is not all that bulky either, which is nice. And I currently have the transmission in the quickest shifting mode. I'm not sure why you would want to tone it down to the slowest transmission setting, but if we put it in the slowest one, there's obviously a delay. And there it goes. So I'm not sure why that is there. You can even adjust that in the regular mode. So if you're just driving it without using the paddles, you can adjust how quickly you want it to shift on its own, which is kind of cool, I guess, just depending on how you like to drive this. But it's cool that we still get those pops. But as far as road noise goes, equally as quiet. Really no road noise, tire noise, anything like that. It's a comfortable vehicle to drive. Now, if I pop it over into M1, automatically I can feel that suspension get a lot looser for your daily driving, whatever you want. Pushing back on M2, it gets a little bit stiffer there. And then also, if I hold down on this M mode button, we can put this into track mode, which activates launch control. So this family sedan, sporty sedan, has launch control, which is pretty cool. So now switching over to the POV angle, you can see what it's like to be behind the wheel of this M8 Competition. All the way up into 8th gear now, just cruising. This is really cool. If you're looking for a family sedan with this performance, definitely a great option. This also has all the creature comforts that you want in a daily driver with the adaptive cruise, even the steering assist. With the push of one button, I already have that activated, along with the assisted driving for the steering wheel. So we're on a straight road now, obviously, but it will take this turn here. So you do need to be paying attention, of course, but you can see it doing the turn. And it's just really nice to have. It's a full radar system too. So if you're in stop and go traffic, you don't have to do the gas or the braking. Really nice to see how you can get those luxuries in a family sedan, and something with the push of a button, you can completely transform and take this on some back roads, just depending on how you want to drive this. It is set up for everything, which is really cool. So we do have to put it back into the M mode there, put it back into sport mode or Sport Plus. Steering is very tight, as you would expect. And then visibility over this left side, I can see out of that window. I can see right over that pillar. Such a quick vehicle. I'm short shifting. It's a brand new vehicle, of course. But if you want to see us have some more fun, definitely check out the M4 competition videos. But that's going to wrap it up for this 2022 BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sporty coupe sedan for me today. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.